it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this crochet spiral. So it's quite nifty because it starts off with 3 colours in the middle and sort of spirals out with the colour. That's hence why it's called a spiral. It just is a normal kind of circle pattern, but I'm just going to show you how to incorporate these 3 colours. I stopped at a certain point just to show you how to taper in the edges. So, you know, you could keep going and make this into a hat or a bag or something. You know, this could be the base of something, or you could just make it into a nice spiral coaster. I probably won't make it as big again, because I want to be able to show you how to finish this edge off. Yeah, so I'm going to get on and show you how to make this. So I'm going to start off with a purple colour. It probably looks blue, but it is purple. And I'm using a double knit yarn and a 4mm hook. So you use the appropriate hook for the yarn that you are using. I'm going to start off with a magic loop, and I have got a video dedicated to that. But if you don't know, just quickly, you just wrap the yarn around your finger twice, put the hook underneath 2 loops, bring the loop that's nearest your knuckle underneath the loop that's nearest your finger nail, and then just do a sort of little slip stitch there, and then that slips off your finger, and now you've got this expandable loop here that you can work your stitches in, and that you can pull it tight, which is really useful for this pattern because we want to have a nice sort of close circle loop at the start. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing 4 trebles into this magic loop. So I am British, so I use British terminology. You may know that as a double crochet, but I call it a treble. So it's 1, 2, 3 chains to replace my first treble, and then 3 more trebles into this loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to take this hook out, and I'm going to make a nice large loop there, because whilst we're getting involved with the other colours, we don't want that one to come undone. So now I'm going to go in with some yellow, but I'm going to make a slip knot and attach that to the hook before I get started. So I'm going to pick up my work I've already done, and I'm just going to start by putting the hook into the loop. Put the hook into the loop, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch to join that on, like so. And now I'm going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more trebles. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 4 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, going to make a nice long loop so that we don't accidentally pull that through. I'm just going to move that around closer to my purple group, and now I'm going to go with my last colour, peach. Doesn't matter, obviously. I'm just explaining. Again, going to attach that with a slip knot to my hook, and then into my magic loop I'm going to do a slip stitch. So yeah, we've got lots of ends going on here, so you know, no need to rush. Take your time, make sure you're working with the right end. And again, 3 chains to make my first treble, and then 3 more to make that 4 altogether. Okay, so again, going to pull that out, nice and long loop. Okay, so now we're going to find the tail end of the magic loop, which is this short end here. I'll just show you, that's that tail end there. Now if I just pull that tail end, that's going to pull that loop in the middle nice and firm up together, and that gives us a nice starting point. Okay, so I've got my 3 colours started. So we started with the purple, then I went to the yellow, and then onto the peach. So the next colour we're going to work is the purple. So now I need to pull that loop closer so that we can work with it. So if you have never worked a crochet circle before, I highly recommend you go and watch and I'm just pointing up here because I'm going to link it up here, a basic circle video. I really recommend you watch that because it's really going to help you with the next few rows. Let me just put this down. So we've got the first groups here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do 4 stitches again, as in we're going to work into the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and into those 4 stitches we're going to work 8 stitches. So I've done 2 into the next 4, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So hopefully you can see what I've got here. So we've got 1, 2 stitches into that 1 stitch there, 1, 2 into that 1, 1, 2 into that third one, 1, 2 into that fourth one. And that's what we're going to do now with the colour. So we're just going to start working straight into that next treble along. Get this to focus. Thank you. What's going on? Got stuff not working here. Right. We're going to do 2 trebles into the next 4 stitches, which are the yellow ones. So just go ahead, just start working the trebles. So that's 1, 2, and into the next one we're going to do 2, and then into the next one we're going to do 2, and again into that last one there we're just going to put the hook. So don't panic about having this loop out here, that's fine, that's just the next stitch. So we're just going to put it into the same place that we would normally, and that is there. So that's 1, 2. Okay, so don't worry if it works loose, don't panic, it will be fine. Okay, so again I'm done with that, so I'm going to take that big loop so that it doesn't come undone. And now we're going to start working the yellow. So put the hook into that loop, and as you pull that tail end it tightens up nicely. So there you go, see it's fine now. So now we're going to start working 2 trebles into the next 4 stitches, which is now the peach.
1, 2, into the next one along. 1, 2, and then again peach one.
And again into that very last one, 2 trebles. And make a nice long loop so it doesn't come undone. And I'm going to put my hook into that peach yarn loop there, and now I can start working my 2 trebles into the next 4 stitches. So now we've got more than 4, so don't get carried away, make sure you just limit yourself to the next 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I pull that nice long loop, and let's have a look to see what we've got here. The start of our swirl. So if you have watched that video about making circles, or you are familiar with the method of expanding the number of stitches as you go out, then the next part will seem quite logical and will make sense. If you haven't, again, I do recommend you go and watch it, but I will cover it here. So we need to increase the number of stitches in a nice gentle fashion. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we had 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I want to make that 12 stitches into the next 8 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with the treble. So I'm going to do 2 trebles into the next stitch. oops, and then 1 treble into the next stitch. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. So 2 trebles into the next stitch, 1 treble into the next stitch along. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 trebles into the next one, and 1 into the next stitch along. Now I'll have 9 stitches, and just 3 more makes 12. So 2 trebles into the next stitch, 1, 2, and then 1 treble into that last stitch there. And now what you're getting is a nice gentle expansion of that circle. So you're going to repeat that now for the other 2 colours, and I'm going to come back when I've got to here to show you how to expand one more time. Okay, so we have got all of our stitches, so don't forget not to get carried away when you're doing this edge because it's already established, so you don't have a stopping point. Okay, right, so the next round, this time we're going to start with 2, and then in between the groups of 2 we're going to have 2 on their own. Let me explain. So we've now got 12 stitches, and now I'm going to work 18 stitches into those 12. So we're increasing the number by 4 each time. Right, so into the next treble we're going to do 2 trebles, 1, 2. Into the next 2 trebles along we're going to just do 1 treble. So that's 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. 4 times 4 is 16. So that's 1, 2, and then 2 into the next 2. 1, 2. I meant 1 into the next 2. Okay, again. 1, 2, and into the next 2 stitches, 1 each. If you're getting into crochet and thought you didn't have to do any counting, then you're wrong. And if you don't like counting, crochet isn't for you. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3 stitches, which is great because we're going to do 2 into that one, and then 1 and 1 into those. So that's perfect. That's just what we wanted. Helps if I put it into the right stitch. There we go. 1, 2, and then 1 and 1 more into that last one there. Great. So we'll repeat that now with the other 2 colours. So I'm going to fill up that and then start with the pink, the peach, working around here. So just remember the number of stitches that you have to work into. Don't get carried away. So you want a total of 16 stitches, and you're going to do 16 stitches into these 12, and then you're going to do 16 stitches across the next 12 stitches here. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to start showing you how to taper in the edges. Okay, so now we're going to start working the edge so that it's going to start finishing it off. So everything so far has been in multiples of 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to carry on doing the expansion so that we get the nice gentle curve. So this time we're going to have 3 single trebles in between the groups of 2. So we're going to do 1, 2 into the same space, and then we're going to have 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. So in the previous rounds at this point I've said you need to repeat that 3 more times. This time you just repeat it once using the trebles. So 1, 2 trebles, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3 single trebles across the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do that again, but we're going to do them in half trebles this time. So a half treble, if you don't know, is yarn over the hook, put it into the stitch, grab the yarn, put it through, and if you're doing a treble you just pull the yarn through the first 2 loops, but actually we're going to put it through all 3 loops on the hook. So that's a half treble. So we're going to do another one into that same space, and it's a shorter stitch than the treble, so we're now going to start bringing it down a bit. So now I'm going to do 3 of those across the next 3 stitches. So that's 3 half trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, and now I've got to do that, but I'm going to do it in a double crochet, which you may know as a single crochet. You may know the half treble as a half double crochet. So we're going to do double crochets now, but you may know them as singles. So that's just, we're going to do 2 into the next one. So that's 1, 2, and then 3 across the next, 1 across the next 3. So 1, 2, and there's our last one there. Now that's our finishing stitch for that round, so I'm just going to leave the loop there and I'm not going to cut anything just yet. Sorry about my squeaky chair. Right, so now I'm going to do the yellow, exactly the same. So I'll just cover that again, and that's going to be 2 trebles into the next stitch, 1, 2, and then 1 across the next 3, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it's not focusing. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to repeat that with the trebles. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to start working them in half trebles. Same pattern. Look at that loop there, it wants to disappear. That's 1, and another one into the same space. And 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to work my stitches now in double crochets, same pattern. So that's 2 into the next one, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm just going to work my last row round of peach, and I shall come back to cut the ends and show you what I do with them. So there you go, I've gone all the way around now, and I've tapered off those edges to make them look like they're disappearing into themselves, which is great. So now I can cut all of my ends, so my middle bits, and I can cut this one and this one, and you just finish them off with a nice sort of pull the end through the loop nice and tight, and as you can see, when you sew that down, that end down, you can sew it down sort of creatively, and that will give you a nice smooth tapered edge. So that is how I do a crochet spiral, and I think it's really cool if I don't mind saying so myself. So that's just that one I've just done, and there's this one I did which is bigger. You kind of get the better idea. Okay, so that's that crochet swirl pattern. I really hope you enjoyed this video, something different. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just pop them down below in the comments section. do check out the description box underneath the video. I put lots of links in there, some information that you might need, and there'll be links up here to other videos that will help you with this tutorial. So yeah, take care. I'll see you in my next video, and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, bye.